good, everybody? It is the weekend, and it is Falcons Daily, and I am CG, and I am Craig Green, your host, and I appreciate y'all checking us out here. Hope everybody had a good Monday through Friday. We have hit the weekend, and we are still talking Falcons football. So, guys, let's talk about the preseason game coming up next Friday night. Okay, 6 days away from today. We will be taking on the Detroit Lions at 7 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Again, kickoff 7 p.m. And if any of you, I'll tell you this much, just from a personal experience, okay? If any of you are watching this and have never been to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, go. It's freaking dope, okay? Go. All right? Go to the Benz, and if you're afraid of what the tickets are going to cost for football games, I got an insider tip for you. Secret of the pros: go during the preseason. Okay, preseason tickets typically find themselves to be a lot cheaper, and you can have a bigger selection of seats. Yeah, you may not see Jalen Walker, Michael Penix, Jesse Bates, Bijan Robinson, but you will get the experience of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You will get to see an NFL football game, and you will get to see some players who may or may not end up being superstars later on. For example, back in 2018, that was the first time I got to go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I don't live in state, for a lot of you. I do live in the South, but not in the state. So I traveled into Atlanta. I got my tickets for this game against the Chiefs. And guess who I got to see that day? I got to see Patrick Mahomes as a rookie playing for the Chiefs against the Falcons on a Friday night. He threw 2 touchdown passes, I believe, in the first quarter or the first half. I mean, he looked really, really good. So I can. That's one I can kind of, I don't know about a bucket list item, but, Mercedes-Benz Stadium was one of those things, so I got to check that off. But again, the seats were great. I got to sit at the 50-yard line. It was 300 level, right at the 50-yard line. You know how much I paid for my ticket, y'all? Like $35 through Ticketmaster, okay? So these are, they're not sponsoring us, but again, you can check your local ticket affiliate and find cheap tickets. But that's my point. If you're going to go then. You know what I'm saying? Go during the regular season if you can do that, but fill it up during the preseason too. Give the Falcons that atmosphere because they need to understand how loud it can get as well for the guys who have never been in a stadium with 70,000 people screaming at or for them. Some of these smaller school players may have only seen 15, 20,000 people, maybe, So again, I really stress that to you. If you're going to go and you can't afford to pay $100 or whatever it is for a ticket during the regular season, get you a $30 ticket in the preseason and go have a good time with your family. Anyway, the point I was bringing up about the preseason originally is I'm wondering who's going to play quarterback for us. You can already X out Michael Penix. Forget it. I don't think he's going to play whatsoever. Not in that game anyway. But someone who you may see in that game is QB2, Kirk Cousins. Will Kirk Cousins play against the Lions next week in the preseason? Again, he's not the starting quarterback anymore. I mean, he's being protected to a degree, to an extent. Again, he's the insurance policy for Michael Penix in case something were to happen to our guy. So I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to see him at least in the first quarter. I don't know about second quarter. I think after the first quarter, I think it's going to be basically between Emory Jones and Easton Stick at that point. But Kirko, I think if he goes out there with those twos and gets those guys ready to roll, those 2s and 3s, I think it's going to help the Falcons not only in practice scenarios, but also help out their depth too. So I don't know if he's going to play, but I think he should play. I was looking at an article, y'all, from ESPN.com. They were ranking coaching staffs heading into the 2025 season. And once again, the Falcons are getting a little bit of whatever the opposite of love is. I don't want to call it hate, but they were ranked the 25th. And this is an article, again, by Ben Solak of ESPN.com. He ranked the Falcons the 25th best coaching staff. They're 25th in the coaching staff rankings. And his, what he had to, I mean, I can already tell you now I don't agree with that. But this is what Ben Solak had to say about the Falcons coaching staff and some of his reasoning for why he ranked them there. Morris, Robinson, and Ulbrich have all been in charge of very successful units very recently. Ulbrich was the defensive coordinator for stellar Jets defense over the past few seasons, but now we have to see him away from Robert Saleh. Robinson showed good creativity in his first year away from the McVay incubator, but he could never solve the problems presented to him by Kirk Cousins' lack of mobility. That's from Ben Solak, the ESPN.com columnist. What Ben doesn't know or may not know about Kirk Cousins' lack of mobility is that before Kirk got injured against the Saints, we were 6-3, and he was one of the top quarterbacks in football. After that, remember, that was the turning point in the season, was the fact that Kirk was still out there trying to play hurt and would not give up the keys to the car to Michael Penix out of pride and not because of what was best for the team. So, we talked about that already. But Ben, I think Ben is wrong on this one. You have a coach that the players absolutely love, a head coach, in Raheem Morris, was given an A+ in the NFLPA's rankings of the teams. You have an offensive coordinator who had their team inside the top 15 in both rushing and passing last season. You have a defensive coordinator who had a team in the New York Jets hovering in and around the top 10 of defense for the past several seasons. The only thing you could hold against this coaching staff is the transgressions of Raheem Morris from last year. His time management decisions or whatever. That's pretty much it. That and the Kirk Cousins thing. But if you're grading him based on last year, not what you think they're doing this year, then the grade obviously is skewed and incorrect anyway. Because you have to think about what they're going to do now. And, when it comes to the coaches' rankings, I wanted to see if there was, any holes we could poke into these ratings and see where he had, if he had anyone that was ranked above the Falcons that didn't really belong there. So we're going to take a look, okay? And already, I'm going to have to call BS on some of this stuff, okay? Now, we'll just look at the top. We'll look at the top 10, okay? Number 1, Minnesota. Number 2, Kansas City. Number 3, San Francisco. 4, Baltimore. 5, the Rams. 6, the Broncos. Sean Payton. Ugh. Number 7, the Buffalo Bills. 8, the Super Bowl champion Eagles. They're 8th. Pete Carroll with the Raiders. 9. I guess. And Matt LaFleur, Green Bay Packers, 10. So then, hard to argue with 11 through 15 because you got 11 through 15. We'll just go over the whole list. Why not? Dan Campbell at 11. D'Amico Ryans of the Texans, 12. Dan Quinn of the Commanders, 13. Jim Harbaugh, 14 of the Chargers. Mike Tomlin, number 15 of the Steelers. And you got Mike McDonald of the Seattle Seahawks, number 16. Okay. Zach Taylor, Shane Steichen. I don't know about that one. But, it's hard to say on that one. I disagree with that. Mike McDaniel, I think it should be a little bit higher. Mike Vrabel, 20th. Okay. Kevin Stefanski, 21st. Ben Johnson, I'm sorry. There's no way a head coach that has never coached in an NFL game is better than Raheem Morris already. Number 22 is Ben Johnson. Jonathan Gannon, who has a terrible record with the Cardinals. I mean, my man's like 13-23 or something like that. 12-22. And how is he ranked better than Raheem Morris? That makes no sense. So 22, 23, and easily 24. These are just really terrible rankings. I'm sorry, Ben. You got Dave Canales in front of Raheem Morris. What? The Panthers have sucked for how long? And were they that good on offense last year? No, they weren't. Okay? So I just don't buy that one. Todd Bowles at 26. I don't know about that. Brian Callahan, 27. Okay. Aaron Glenn, 28. Hasn't coached yet. Brian Schottenheimer, 29 of the Cowboys. Kellen Moore, 30 of the Saints. Liam Cohen, 31. And Brian Daboll, 32 of the Giants. Okay. But there's no way coaches who have never coached in an NFL game should be ranked ahead of Raheem Morris. There's no way. You can't project that they're going to. I mean, I'm sorry. Them as an offensive coordinator, not having to manage the entire team was better than the head coach managing the entire team. Sorry, man. I got to call BS on that. All right. Kicking competition is heating up, y'all. It's heating up. And the latest report from Mark Raimondi of ESPN, who's paying attention to our guys down there just kicking it, pun intended. Right now, it looks like Younghoe Koo is making a comeback. Because remember, we talked about the first day of camp. Lenny Craig went 5 for 5, and Younghoe Koo went 4 or 5 on his attempts. On Friday, though, at practice, again, this was a closed practice. It wasn't open to the public. Koo went 5 for 5 on his kicks, knocking down a couple of 50-yarders. Lenny Craig went 3 of 5. Okay, so he had a worse day than Koo when Koo missed a kick. So Koo at 100%, Lenny Craig at 60%, and again, Younghoe is the incumbent guy. He's the guy who's already there. And I said if Lenny Craig was going to make this team, he was going to have to make every single kick every single time, and he has at this point failed to do that. So now he is going to be put behind the 8 ball. Now he's looking at potentially a win-or-go-home situation in the last week of training camp, which is coming up here, last 2 weeks of training camp. So he's got to be on his A game if he wants to stay around in Flowery Branch. Even if he doesn't stay around in Atlanta, there's a good chance somebody's going to pick him up because he's done some pretty good things. He's been impressive. I mean, he got this far to where he's competing with a Pro Bowl kicker for his spot. So right now, the advantage is going back to Koo. And The advantage is going back to Koo. And we're going to see how interesting it gets. Hey, Harper. Good morning. We're at the part where we can tell everybody what they need to do in the comments, which is rise up and sound off in the comments. Let us know how you're feeling, and let us know what you want to talk about when it comes to the Falcons. Harper, next Friday night, the Falcons have a preseason game against the Detroit Lions. Okay?
Okay.
What's the number one thing you want the Falcons? What's the best thing the Falcons need to do in that game? What do you think is, if they want to win, what do they need to do?
The Dirty Bird.
They need to do the Dirty Bird dance? Okay. The only time they do that is when they score touchdowns. So are you saying they need to score touchdowns? I agree. Rise up and sound off in the comments, y'all. And let us know what you think about all of the things that we're discussing here. Matter of fact, shout out to Jeff Holton, 1225. He is the one who suggested us bringing up Kirk Cousins and whether or not he was going to play in the preseason. So thank you, Jeff, for that one. And make sure you give FanArchCo a follow up here in the top left corner, FANARCHCO. And you give me a follow as well, Craig G Sports on social media, CRAIG, the letter G, and the word sports. So y'all know the drill. Anyway, have a fantastic weekend. We're going to try to do the same thing. Let's get ready for some football next week. Harper, tell everybody bye-bye.
Bye-bye and Sarna and Buenas noches.